This your boy Diddy Knows Ball back with another video. Say man, yeah. Oh, my name Diddy Knows Ball, but I ain't got nothing to do with P. Diddy, no affiliation, man. So please let that sink in, let that shit go. But today I'm gonna be talking about the Charlotte Hornets and where they go after Terry Rozier trade. Uh, it's many directions they can go. I still think this is one of the best young cores in the league. Don't let the record fool you. Yes, they are a bottom five team. Yes, they have plenty of holes. I think they need a different coach. They need more veteran role players, in my opinion. But I think this young core is very underrated. And let's not forget, the Charlotte Hornets have wins over the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they got a win over the Boston Celtics. Two top teams in each conference. So there's a lot of hope for Charlotte Hornets fans because it's been a weird couple years. It's been a weird couple years. The Jordan still in the team, all the dudes going to prison on the Hornets seem like. Um, but with all that being said, this is still a very talented young core. And of course, it starts with LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo Ball, because of his name recognition, his star stature, and his injuries. People forget how good he is and how just game changing his game is when he's actually on the court playing at the top of his game. Lamelo Ball is one of the best passers in the league. He's one of the biggest point guards in the league in terms of height and size. Lamelo has gotten way bigger, y'all. It's to the point where in the Minnesota game, you can hide LaMelo Ball on a Jaden McDaniels. You can hide him on a Herb Jones, a guy that is a bigger guy, but he's not known for his scoring. If you do want to hide LaMelo, you can hide him on anybody pretty much 1 through 3. So that's a plus. And he's a feisty defender. He tries. He's a solid defender, in my opinion, just based off the eye test. So to have him as your star player with all those unique qualities, the passing, the shooting, the size at the position, I think he's one of the easier players to build around. Now, Brandon Miller. I think Brandon Miller is the key in this Charlotte Hornets rebuild, and I think he made Terry Rozier expendable. He had three 20-point games in a row against the Spurs, the 76ers, and then the other day against the Timberwolves. And it's like he's a real guy. He's a real guy. And if this draft's coming up, Brandon Miller would have went number one. So Brandon Miller is one of those guys where he kind of got swept under the rug by the Scoops, by the Victor Wembanyama's, just the hype those guys had. But he was the best player in college. He was the best player in college as a freshman. They was disappointing. Alabama was disappointing in the tournament, and they had a lot of off the court things. But in terms of talent, a guy that's a 6'9" wing, that's solid defensively, that's solid off the catch, that's solid off the drill. Like he's not a master of none. I say he's a master of none, but he's pretty damn good at a lot of things on the basketball court. And I think he's the perfect fit and a complementary piece to a guy like LaMelo Ball. I really love Brandon Miller's game. I love his attitude. He doesn't back down from anybody. You watch the Detroit game, you watch the Spurs game when he was kind of getting, fired up. But he just brings an energy, a passion. He didn't back down from Anthony Edwards. It's just he's a guy that you would love to pair with LaMelo Ball. So I love those two as building blocks. Mark Williams is the wild card. I don't know what's going on with his injury. I think it's a back thing. That's something you don't like to hear that shit from no center, a back injury. But if Mark Williams is healthy, that is another solid piece and cornerstone to this team. PJ Washington, I think he's a very good player. They can play the four. And I really would like him next to Mark Williams. Miles Bridges, he's another guy. I hope he re-signs with Charlotte. He's a damn good player, bro. He's one of the more underrated players in the league because He's another big wing that can defend, play in transition, can shoot, can score off the dribble. It's just, man, the biggest thing about this Charlotte Hornets team, Nick Smith Jr. coming off the bench, I think he's shown flashes. I think he's another reason why Terry Rozier had became expendable. Nick Smith Jr. has showed some flashes, and you still have guys like Bryce McGowns. So, Charlotte Hornets have a lot of guys that can put the ball in the hole. They have a lot of positional size at every position. Every position, they got positional size. They don't have no average height player at any position, 1 through 5. So I really like that. And just the defensive versatility potential you could have, the offensive potential you could have with this Charlotte Hornets young core. They just got to stay healthy. And they got to stay out of jail, bro. I'm not being funny. They just got to stay healthy and stay out of trouble. Everybody on this Charlotte Hornets team outside of LaMelo just seems like they done dealt with trouble. And I'm talking about the main guys. Even PJ Washington, he didn't deal with trouble, but it was like off the court baby moment. Like, it's just a lot going on with these guys personally. And if they can get that under wraps, they're young. But I like the offensive potential, the defensive potential, the positional size at every position. And they just got a solid young guy at every position that you can count on to build forward going to the future. At this point, they really have no holes. I think their biggest holes is coaching and role players. Because if you look at their top 4 young pieces, I think it's LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Mark Williams, PJ Washington, and then you got solid guys that you can look to build around as role players. I think Nick Smith Jr. could possibly turn into a solid role player. Nick Richards is solid. So you got guys in Charlotte, man. And I feel like as long as they stay healthy, they're one of the better young cores in the league in terms of just they have just a lot of two-way ability. And they just got a lot of guys, man. And I really like the Charlotte Hornets roster, young core. Maybe they could take a page off the Houston Rockets book, go get you a coach, and then go get you some vets. And, but I feel like the one difference they have from the Rockets is you got guys, man. I think LaMelo Ball, I think Miles Bridges, and I think Brandon Miller, those guys, they can really make some noise in that Eastern Conference, especially when they start hitting their stride and they get a nice run of healthy games in them. But let me know how y'all feel about the Charlotte Hornets. Let me know in the comments how good they can be, the outlook, what they should do, what moves they should make, what coach upgrade they should. I don't. What's the name of this coach? I can't even think of his name. Steve Clifford. Say, man, I don't know. He doesn't seem like a great coach to me. Maybe I'm tripping. But it is what it is. But yeah, I think just Terry Rozier just became expendable because of all the young talent Charlotte Hornets have. And, yeah. But this your boy D Knows Ball. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.
Found some shit I love to do, so I can look comfortable. Searching for a peace of mind, need that when it's time to rhyme. Perfect in every line, any chance I get, and I know it takes time, but I will never quit.